reading from Bhagavad-Gita as it is, chapter 3, entitled Karma Yoga, text 40, text 40 of chapter 3 of Bhagavad-Gita as it is, entitled Karma Yoga. Indriyani manobuddhirasyaadhishthanamuchyate etairvimoha yati esha jnanam avritya dehinam. Indriyani manobuddhir asyadishtanam uchate etairvimoha yatyesha jnanam avritya dehinam. Indriyani manobuddhir asyadishtanam uchate etairvimoha yatyesha jnanam avritya dehinam. Indriyani manobuddhir asyadhishtanam uchate etairvimoha yatyesha jnanam avritya dehinam. Please chant. Indriyani manobuddhir asyadhishtanam uchate etairvimoha yatyesha jnanam avritya dehinam. Indriyani manobuddhir asyadhishtanam uchate Indriya Jnanam avritya dehinam. Indriyani manobuddhir asyadhishtanam uchate etairvimoha yatyesha jnanam avritya dehinam. Indriyani, the senses, manaha, the mind, buddhi, the intelligence, asya, of this lust, adhishtanam, sitting place, uchate, is called, etai, by all these, bimohayati, bewilders, eshaha, this lust, jnanam, knowledge, avritya, covering, dehinam, of the embodied, Translation: the senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. Please repeat: the senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The enemy has captured different strategic positions in the body of the conditioned soul, and therefore Lord Krishna is giving hints of those places so that one who wants to conquer the enemy may know where he can be found. Mind is the center of all activities of the senses, and thus when we hear about sense objects, the mind generally becomes a reservoir of all ideas of sense gratification, and as a result, the mind and the senses become the repositories of lust. Next, the intelligence department becomes the capital of such lustful propensities. Intelligence is the immediate next-door neighbor of the spirit soul. Lusty intelligence influences the spirit soul to acquire the false ego and identify itself with matter, and thus with the mind and senses. The spirit soul becomes addicted to enjoying the material senses and mistakes this as true happiness. This false identification of the spirit soul is very nicely explained in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.84.13. Yasyatma buddhi kunape tridatuke svadhi kalamatra shubham ijadi yatirta buddhi salilena karichit jene svabhigye suseva gokaraha. Quote, a human being who identifies this body made of three elements with his self, who considers the byproducts of the body to be his kinsmen, who considers the land of birth worshipable, and who goes to the place of pilgrimage simply to take a bath rather than meet men of transcendental knowledge there, is to be considered like an ass or a cow. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, and unto the feet of all the Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother, Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopal Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna, Chaitanya, and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar, Srivas, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates, Sri Lalita and Vishaka. Oh, my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the gopis and the lover of Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very, very dear to Lord Krishna. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desire trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. I offer My obeisances to Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasari Gaura, Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Translation once again. The senses, the mind, and the intelligence are the sitting places of this lust. Through them, lust covers the real knowledge of the living entity and bewilders him. So, we all are in a very auspicious situation to be here in the Sri Vrindavan Dham, which is the counterpart of the prototype in the spiritual world. There is no difference between the Goloka Vrindavan and Gokula Vrindavan. But at the same time, we're in this material world, and due to our conditioning, we are entangled in material activities since time immemorial, and under the influence of the three gunas, Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva, the three modes of material nature, and which include the mind, the intelligence, and the senses, the external senses. So, by being under the influence of the false ego, we are attached to the mind and the senses and the objects of sense gratification, namely eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So, as conditioned living entities, we've been going up and down throughout the material universe through 8,400,000 species of life, and now we're at the junction in the human species, which provide us the very auspicious opportunity to end the wheel of repeated birth and death, the cycle of samsara. In the morning, we all chant Samsaradava Nalalida Loka Tranaya Karuna Ganaganatvam Praptasya Kalyana Gunanavasya Vande Guru Sri Charanarvindam. So, by engaging in the service of the spiritual master is able to extinguish the blazing fire of material existence, and the purpose of spiritual life is to practice the principles of bhakti-yoga by no meat eating, no eating fish or eggs, no gambling, no intoxication, no mental speculation, and by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By engaging in the process of the Yuga Dharma, Harinam Sankirtan, we can expedite the matter more efficiently. There's two types of chanting. There's jap and kirtan. So everyone can do jap and everyone can do kirtan, but kirtan has more power. So it's recommended by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself that Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, kalo nasteva eva gatir anyataha. There is only one way, and that is to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And in this way, we can also become free from the lower modes of material nature. Of course, as I said before, the conditioned soul is entrapped by these three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. But at the same time, as pure spirit souls, originally we have nothing to do with the modes of nature. These are from our present condition. We're affected by them, but actually the spirit soul is free from birth, death, disease, and old age, and consequently is transcendental to the gunas. So in our present context, in our present state of existence, we're in a covered over condition of forgetfulness, and instead of seeking to love the Supreme, we are endeavoring to lust over the material or the mundane. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has inaugurated the Sankirtan party, and he's ordering every person, man, woman, child, to take up the process of bhakti-yoga, individually, collectively, not only at the temple, but also in each and every home. It's possible to expand this Krishna Bhavanamrit, which is the natural consciousness of the living entity, to be fully absorbed in our natural seva bhavana with the Supreme Personality of Godhead and any one of the five direct rasas, by the order of and under the direction and guidance of the Vaishnavas, the Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. And then in this way we can control our desires, and purify our existence, and therefore divert our lusty intelligence and make it into a pure, unalloyed devotion to the Supreme Lord. In the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it's explained Anyavilasita Sunyam Jnana Karma Anavritam. Anukulunyena Krishnanu Bhaktir Uttam. And the translation is that bhakti yoga has to be performed without any material motivations of karma kanda or jnana kanda, but it has to be pure bhakti. for the complete, absolute satisfaction of the Supreme Person alone. There should be no self-interest or self-motivation that maybe I'm a devotee and I like my seva, I do kirtan, or I cook in the kitchen, or I distribute books, or I do go seva, or I do college preaching, or like this. But actually, as the name implies, it's a seva. It's not a mundane thing. It's like, for example, when we honor prasadam, the word honor means that we respect it. So we respect prasadam. It's seva. It's not that we use prasadam, but we honor prasadam. We respect prasadam. So it's a service. So we cannot claim to own the service. We can, on one sense, we can claim that it is our service, whatever service that may be, but it's coming in parampara from the authorities. Otherwise, if we whimsically try to possess that service by material calculations without any authorized guidance or anything. For example, if someone comes to Vrindavan, and everyone likes Vrindavan, but maybe they have their seva someplace else. So if the guru says that you can come to Vrindavan, but you must go back to do your seva, then you cannot say that I am. Of course, our consciousness is always supposed to be in Vrindavan, and Rupa Goswami says that if you cannot physically be in Vrindavan, then we should mentally be in Vrindavan. So we should always be in Vrindavan consciousness, and if we're in Vrindavan consciousness, if we're in Vrindavan consciousness and we're in Vrindavan, then that might be okay. But if the guru says no, you cannot be in Vrindavan, you must come back to this other yatra and do this, then you have to follow the order of the spiritual master. Of course, we follow the order of the spiritual master no matter what. So if we are in Vrindavan, and it's by the desire of the spiritual master, then that's good. That's coming in down through the proper channels like that. Sometimes people, devotees may criticize other devotees that are in Vrindavan, and they will say, but actually Prabhupada said that Vrindavan is inspiration only, and our real business is to go and save the conditioned souls. So then they may also quote Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada also said that one can visit Vrindavan for a short time, especially the newcomers, because if they stay too long, I think he said maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that. If they stay for too long, they may commit aparad, or they may commit some offense, and that is not good. So then like that. So everything is done in accordance with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. All our activities are our speaking, our mental activities, and our physical activities. Every body, mind, and words. These are to be wanted to. These are wanted. So. And that way, we through purified consciousness, we can actually develop more and more service attitude in our devotional practices, and while we're here in Sri Vrindavan, then we should also engage in bhakti-yoga. What are the 9 processes? Hearing, chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Bandhanam, Dasyam, yes, Dasyam. So Dasyam means service, yeah. Service, yeah. So, so the first 2 are hearing and chanting, Shravanam, Kirtanam, and like that. So that's the basis of Krishna consciousness, is hearing and chanting and associating with like-minded persons and conversing with like-minded persons, Krishna Katha, and also Kirtanam, also Shravanam, Kirtanam. So here in Krishna Balaram Mandir, some may know and some may not, but for the past 33 years, I believe, it's the 24-hour kirtan is available. Everyone is invited to participate. There's also a website. You can download kirtans. It's www.24hourkirtan.com. And so for those that are not able to come to the Bhagavad-Gita class, for example, they're listening on the radio or they're watching the video on the internet. They can also, when there's no internet connection, they can also avail themselves of the downloads, not just of the kirtan, but also the Srimad Bhagavatam class and Bhagavad-Gita on the YouTube, on the internet, like that. So here in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining the meaning of the false identification of the spirit soul. That is explained in 10th canto, 84th chapter, text 13. Yasyatma buddhi kunapetri dhatuke. A human being who identifies this body made of the 3 elements. So what are the 3 elements? No, yeah, but the 3, what is it, the doshas? Pitta, Kapha, and? Right. That's, or maybe, okay. So if we identify with the body and or the substances within the body, if we identify with the mind or with the intelligence, and those extended manifestations of the body, such as the family members and relatives and like this, if we identify or we're too much attached materially, not in a spiritual sense, but more in a mundane sense, then this shloka in the Bhagavatam explains that we're like animals. Of course, the cow and it mentions here the ass and the cow. Well, actually, the cow is in the mode of goodness. So why do we say that she's not very intelligent? But in terms of developed consciousness, like the human being can go to the mandir, and of course there's some cases where the bull or the cow will go also inside the mandir, but that is the exception to the rule. We cannot make the exception a rule. That, of course, that's also nice. If all the animals, like Lord Chaitanya, he went to Jharkhand, and all the animals, they were dancing, all the lions and all the monkeys in Jharkhand forest. That's also good, but not all of them will do like that. So and if they do, then there might be some, they might disrupt the they might break they might cause havoc, also like. But anyhow, the ass is explained. The ass is an animal that is also in tamagun, like this. That the ass is making sound, making noise, and maybe not non-stop making this like that. And so that the ass is thinking, yes, this is very nice. This other ass is making this nice sound, very good. So actually it's in one biography by His Holiness Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he's explaining when Prabhupada was here in Vrindavan, before the Gurukul building was built, and Prabhupada was staying in the guest house in this upstairs. And not only Prabhupada, but also all his disciples. And there was one devotee who was singing in the temple, and Prabhupada, he told his secretary that, who is this chanting? And then Prabhupada said, they're singing with this microphone, and they're thinking that they're singing, sounding so sweet, but actually they're sounding like Rakshasa. Prabhupada said. So I also have experience. I'm thinking when I'm doing kirtan, I have such nice voice. But Prabhupada is saying that actually this is like Rakshasa sounding. we think because we have nice microphone, then the sound is so nice. So we should be conscious. We should be conscious of our service, and not think that our service is supreme. And so therefore, I can, even if I don't sound sweet, if I'm sounding like Rakshasa, still it is okay. No. That we should not do. So, so what are the 5 knowledge-acquiring senses? Smell, taste, touch, seeing, and hearing. Yes. And actually, I had a note, but I lost the note. The objects of Yeah. What are the five? The five senses and their objects. So the object of seeing is form, yes, and then the object of hearing is sound, and then tasting is the tongue, and smelling the nose, and then the last one is skin touching, yes. So by engaging our senses, also we chant on Japamala, but Lord Chaitanya, we chant on Jap because of touch, of sense of touch. So to absorb more, to absorb ourselves more in bhakti by using these five knowledge acquiring senses and their objects. But Lord Chaitanya, he chanted with no jap. He chanted on his fingers. Hare Krishna, Krishna. So if you have no jap, you can also chant on your fingers also. It's you can use the clicker or the digital machine also like that. Prabhupada, he said that one should chant 16 rounds minimum and unlimited 16 rounds on beads and unlimited rounds off beads. So sometimes we have so much seva and we don't have time for everything in the house and the cleaning and coming to the temple, and no time for studying shastra, but most important is jap. I mean, kirtan also is there. So, but we can chant our 16 rounds, like Prabhupada said, 16 rounds on beads and unlimited rounds off beads. So there's 24 hours of the day. So when you're going to the temple, you can chant. You can chant in the mind also, like that. So, any questions or comments, or we can take them now. So there's 8 minutes until 6:30. Huh? Yeah, you can count on beads. Yeah, no problem. Beads are actually, if you don't, like in Russia, maybe 25 years before, 30 years before they became a democracy, this religion was prohibited. So they just like in India, when the Muslims were here 500 years ago, 600 years ago, then the Hindus, they could not practice. So in Russia, they could only perform Namhata but in secret, no public, no Harinam or anything like that. And they also used, because Russia is far away, so there's no japamala that they could buy. So they made japamala from atta. They would make the balls, and then they would string them together, and they would chant on atta balls. So the devotees in Russia, they suffered very much, because just like in India, when India was subjugated by the Muslims, then like Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, they had to practice. They could not practice. So in Russia, they also the government, before communist government, they're atheistic, and so devotees, they were put in medical hospitals, and they're given drugs, and no, like no sadhu sangha, just in prison like this. So by Prabhupada's mercy, the devotees, they distributed books in underground, in secret. And I was just reading just now, there's Krishna Kshetra Swami. He's American, but he lives in Germany. So he's a Prabhupada disciple. So him and also many other devotees, they would go to the East European countries and try to cross the border with Russia, with trucks or lorries or vans, with books, but it's prohibited. So they had to go at nighttime, and very dangerous, like that. And then the police would come and stop the vehicle, and sometimes they would confiscate all the books. Other times they would not stop they would just say, no, you cannot come this side, you have to go other side. So then they would have to go to another country to try to go into Russia with Prabhupada's books for distribution like this. So Krishna consciousness is not limited, and we're very lucky because we like I said, we're here in Vrindavan, and any devotional service performed in Vrindavan is magnified 1,000 times. So if you chant one round of jap, that is equal to 1,000 rounds of anywhere else in the world. You chant one round of japa in Vrindavan is equal to 1,000 rounds anywhere else in the planet. But not for our sense gratification, but for the pleasure of Krishna. So, and I said before that Prabhupada, he said many things pro and many things con, like this. Like for example, he told one devotee to take sannyas, and another devotee, he must get married. So it's like, no. So Prabhupada said many things. So Prabhupada also said that in Vrindavan is inspiration only. Our real business is to go out of Vrindavan to save all the conditioned souls. But actually, so many conditioned souls are coming to Vrindavan every day from Delhi. So many, the temple room is full. There's no room anymore. 30 years ago, they would come from Delhi on Saturday and Sunday only. But now it's every day. It's every day. So there's no question of no conditioned souls that need to be saved outside of Vrindavan, because they're coming to Vrindavan. So and not only that, but we have the opportunity to preach to them and get the benefit 1,000 times. Like if you distribute one book, that's 1,000 books. If you distribute one small book here in Vrindavan, that is like distributing 1,000 books outside Vrindavan for Krishna's pleasure. So Krishna is so happy if we can do this. We don't have to go to Delhi or Mumbai or New York or Moscow. Here in Vrindavan, we distribute one book that is equal to distributing 1,000 books. So I was saying also that Prabhupada, he also needed for his disciples to go outside of Vrindavan. So he would give different instructions. And Prabhupada also said that the neophyte, they should only come to Vrindavan for 2 weeks only, and then they should leave. Because if they stay and they commit offense or aparad, that is not good. Yeah, this is also true. And as I said, that Rupa Goswami Prabhupada said that, the first principle is that we should live in Vrindavan physically. And the second principle is that if we cannot live in Vrindavan physically, then at least in the mind, mentally. But physically is the number one. Living in Vrindavan physically is the primary. So Rupa Goswami Srila Prabhupada, he says that that one cannot become free from the aparad if one commits aparad in Vrindavan by going out of Vrindavan. He cannot become free from the pap by going out of Vrindavan. He can only become free from the sinful action in the Dham. This is Rupa Goswami. This is, in English, it's called the fine print. You have a contract, and then there's, on the bottom, there's the small print. This is the small print. The contract says that we should not be in Vrindavan if we commit offense. This is not good. But the small print says, Rupa Goswami, that we cannot become free from the aparad by going out of Vrindavan. We can only clean the aparad by being in Vrindavan. Vrindavan Dham ki! So I strayed a little bit from the topic. And it's 6:30. If there's no more questions, next time, whether I am giving the Bhagavad-Gita class or not, anyone, they should remember to bring pen and paper, and you can always write down just notes and question or whatever like that. And even if you do not use, you save for next class, and then you can, oh yes, I wrote this last week. Maybe I can ask this question this time, or anything like that. That is a good practice. So Srila Jiva Goswami says that all endeavors should be like any kata should begin with kirtan, and prasadam. I don't have any prasad, but also Jiva Goswami says that we can also end with kirtan. So we just have 1 minute kirtan.